Like I mentioned in the last R LTTP for Littlewood, with a Wonderful Life releasing soon, I wanted to do a couple of games that clearly are inspired by the story of Season games. Today's game has the added bonus of being inspired by Pokemon as well, and that game is Ooblets, a quirky farming sim mixed with creature collecting and battling who was developed and published by Glumberland. After creating your character, you arrive at Badgetown in the Land of Oob. The Land of Oob is filled with creatures called Ooblets, who seem to only exist here since your character does not seem to know anything about them. When you arrive, you meet Tinsel, the town mayor. She signs you up to be her assistant and gives you an old farm and house to live in. She also introduces you to different clubs in the town for which you need to pick to be a part of, which is essentially the Pokemon equivalent of picking your starter Ooblet. After meeting everyone and getting a few tasks completed, you start to learn that not all is well in Badgetown and someone is trying to shut it down, which begins the overall story of the game of trying to reinstate the Oobnet system to the other regions. And you do this through activating towers at different locations through Oob. There's also trash that keeps showing up mysteriously every day that the townspeople just cannot figure out what the source is. As you work your way through the story, you'll run into different people who want to battle your Ooblets, which is done through dance battles. To win dance battles, you need to get the designated amount of beats before your opponent, and this is done through cards that are dealt to you. The start of each battle, you begin with 3 energy to spend, and each card has a certain cost of energy to use. Card abilities can range from adding beats, stealing beats from your opponent, adding to your hype, which makes your card's beats worth more, and also cards that will affect your other team. Ooblets also offers cards unique to them as well, and as they level up, they'll give you more cards. But you can also buy different cards from the clubs in the world and also different shops. You'll also find wild Ooblets about that you can do dance battles with, but each one has a cost of a mission to do the battle, which usually is a resource you have gathered or some kind of food you made. When you win a dance battle, you get to choose to take a seed from an Ooblet, from which then you can plant and grow in your farm to get your own version of it. There are also unique versions of Ooblets to find, kind of like shinies in Pokemon. Speaking of the farm, it is there that you'll grow any crops you need and do any processing through the various machines you get access to. I did like how they handled the farming aspect. You hit a button and you go into this farming mode, which puts a grid overlay down you interact with. I found it really easy to plant, water, till the soil, and do all the various other activities needed. You can even set up homes in the farm with your Ooblets to live in, and from there they'll work the spots around it, or you can actually assign Ooblets to the processing machines as well. Outside of the farm itself, you can upgrade your farmhouse and decorate it, plus you can also buy from a pretty decent catalog of clothes to personalize your character. The game has a very whimsical look to it, and it does not take itself very seriously at all. Conversations with the townspeople are generally goofy, and everyone kind of sways and moves with the music, like they all have some kind of personal soundtrack going on in their minds. Overall, I really like the look of the game, and the music is actually really well done. The game did have a few pain points for me though. I felt like I was running out of stamina really fast every day in the beginning. You can nap, but it doesn't really help much, and you can eat food, but since it's the beginning of the game, your resources are pretty limited. It's not uncommon in a game like this, but it just felt more so than I'm accustomed to. Also, you walk really slow in the beginning, and while you can run, the run bar is limited to how much stamina you have left, which kind of goes back to my prior comment. The run bar does refill after you use it, but it turns into a tiny sprint and then walk, tiny sprint and then walk again. It seemed needless to tie them together, and I wasn't a fan of it at all. Also, the performance on the Switch was pretty lacking at times. The game went through some controversy in 2019 before its release on PC. The game was originally supposed to be published by Double Fine before Double Fine was bought up by Microsoft. They decided to then self-publish and they made an exclusive deal with Epic Games Store. Of course, this was all around the time Epic Games Store came bulldozing into the scene, And they were making exclusive games like this pretty much everywhere, and it was upsetting a lot of gamers who wanted to keep these games in their Steam libraries. To add insult to injury, the main designer decided to publish his own thoughts on the situation, making an already sour situation much worse. He did apologize for it soon after, but I think at that point the damage was already done. I don't have any clue how Ooblets did financially, but I'm pretty sure they took notes from this, or at least I hope they did, and have a lot of lessons learned around it. We are all human though, and I did not let it get in the way of me buying and enjoying the game when it released on the Switch. And I'm glad I did. I actually, outside the issues I brought up, I really enjoyed my time with Ooblets. It pretty much consumed my daily gaming until I beat it, and once the credits are done, it just drops you right back in to continue your life in Oob. Glumberland has also been doing a really good job with seasonal updates as well to get new clothes and furniture. Ooblets is available on the Nintendo Switch, Windows, and Xbox, and normally runs for about $30. As always, if you made it to the end of this video and you enjoyed it, please give it a like, and be sure to subscribe to the channel to be notified of any future content and videos in the R LTTP series. Thank you for watching.